It's not a mistake to make a mistake. It's a mistake to not recognize a mistake as a mistake. To recognize your mistake as a mistake is an art of life where we recognize that absolutely nothing is perfect. And I am certainly not perfect. I don't seek perfection. Mistakes, when they happen and when I learn from it, is a way for me to learn, to grow, to become more mature. And then it acts as a reminder to not repeat it. There's a Japanese word called Kintsugi. Kin means gold, and tsugi means mistake. When mistakes happen, instead of hiding behind the mistake, you boldly recognize it. Not just gently, boldly recognize it. You pick up the pieces and then you put them together with 24 karat gold. Honestly, it is much more interesting to me and a lot of people to see those mosaic put together in an art form. It shows strength of character. It shows that somebody has done work on themselves. It shows responsibility. It shows that somebody has self-awareness. It shows vulnerability in a very positive way. It shows lesson learned. It also shows mistake not to be repeated. It shows as a guidepost for others to follow. I love you when you recognize and accept your mistake. When you don't recognize and accept your mistake, which is right in front of you, I don't love you. I cannot love you. You understand? You want to be loved, then take ownership of it. Then you learn and grow and not repeat the mistakes. People ask this question, why am I facing the same problems over and over again? Why am I seeing this pattern? Why things are becoming more difficult in life? Because you haven't learned the lesson the first time. Seeing things squarely just the way they are and facing the devil, whether the devil is outside of you or the devil is inside of you. Yes, it takes certain strength. Yes, it takes work. Yes, it is painful. Yes, there is loss. Yes, things won't be the same forever. They'll be better, different, more interesting. Those battle scars, they form your character. Otherwise, you live life very mildly, whereas those scars of lesson learned shows the grit of living life boldly. So then why is it that people don't recognize the mistakes? Because they have gone through the pattern of being demonized. That when a mistake happened, you got slapped on your face or slapped on your wrist or called names or told that you're imperfect. Those scars, unhealed scars, painful, then they guide our journey forward. It happens at home. It happens in relationships. It happens at workplace. It doesn't have to be the same way. You be the change that you want to see. When people around you, they make mistakes and they recognize the mistakes, honor them, recognize them for it, and celebrate the lesson learned instead of demonizing. You made a mistake. Whose fault is this? This is all your fault. Work together. Take co-ownership of making a mistake. Help them recover from the mistakes. Help them learn the lessons. But we're not talking about other people. Let's not deviate from it. When I make a mistake, it's up to me to go in silence, face it boldly, and put the pieces together. Pashtachaap jo hai na, repentance is something that can be done and should be done in silence. But repentance means mending things. Repentance means putting it together for you and for whoever you have done wrong. It makes you a grown up person. It makes you a man or a real woman when you take ownership of it. To be a man, be a woman, grow up, take ownership. It starts from me. Let's learn together from our mistakes, from each other's mistakes, from my mistakes, from your mistakes. Learn and grow. When we learn to celebrate other people's overcoming of mistakes, then it's equal to me making a mistake and learning and overcoming. So then the growth trajectory is so fast. I don't have to make all the mistakes in my life to learn from them. I can learn from other people's mistakes. But you don't learn from other people's mistakes by making fun of them, by looking down upon them. You say, it's okay as long as you recognize it. And then you share the burden of the mistakes made. इकट्ठा बैठ के पश्चाताप करो. You suffer together. We've seen people shaving their heads in supporting their loved ones who've had leukemia or some form of cancer. That's what it is called. I am with you. I support you. I'm not saying cancer is a mistake. And there's a bit of compassion also, and that is being patient with yourself and being patient with the other person. Whether you made the mistake or the other person made a mistake, give it some time to heal and not keep on gouging on the same mistake, reminding that person, look what you did, look what you did. Just give it a gap. Give it some time and space for things to heal, and be patient because it may take a bit of time to recover. Maybe the recovery won't be 100%. Maybe additional mistakes may be made, and it has to be supported. I have to recognize that I may make the mistake again. And the only thing that we are guaranteed is awareness, that I want to be completely self-aware. That when I make a mistake, that I know I have made a mistake again. And when that somebody else has made a mistake, you gently make that person aware of that mistake. But of course, there has to be a mutual agreement. That is that person willing to receive feedback? Would that person want to be reminded of when the mistake is made repeatedly? And how would that person would want to be reminded? It's a very, very delicate thing because it has to do with ego. Nobody wants to get their egos hurt. Nobody. I don't want my ego get hurt. You don't want to get your ego hurt. No matter how non-egotist people we pretend to be, we all have our egos because it's only the ego that hurts. Phyllis told me once, she said, it's only the ego that gets hurt. Your real self never gets hurt. I love me. I make a mistake or I don't make a mistake. I love me. I make a mistake and I learn from it. I love me. I make a mistake. I recognize it's a mistake, but I didn't learn from it. I love me. Somebody else makes a mistake. I recognize it. The person doesn't learn. I love you. The person makes a mistake and the person recognizes it. Celebrate it with that person. That is a matter of honor. God bless.